and welcome back to another episode of the After School Special Club podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Mary.
And this is your show for video games, news, entertainment, and stories from our stupid little lives. Coming to you live every Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And it is actually Saturday this time.
Yep, it's always going to be Saturday.
Except for that one time.
And days where it's not going to be Saturday. But most of the time it's Saturday.
Mostly Saturday, sometimes.
Yes.
Just kidding. Yeah, we're doing it Saturdays, except for the one time.
Would you say we're doing it live on Saturdays?
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it a Saturday Night Live.
We have to make that joke at least once a month.
Yeah, just like my visit. I time it for my visit. I'm like, I'm moody, irritable, and I have to say something.
And I have to let you know we're doing it live. Woo! Oh my gosh. Welcome to the show. So, yes. So, we are live. It is a Saturday. Tell me about your week.
My week has felt like a month.
Me too, actually.
It's funny because the past couple weeks, I think on the podcast, we've been talking about it, how our weeks have been going by so fast. Mm-hmm. And it's like this week hit and it was like just felt like a millennium went by.
Yeah.
I was like, am I in the next generation now? Like, am I 39 instead of 18?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, per our last episode, you did fall asleep in the car and aged a year. So
that's very true. But my week has been...
goes by.
It does. Like an engine. But I've been working out still, keeping that up, trying to strength train, trying to change my diet. So just researching into that. I've been playing a lot of one game, which I'll talk about later. Like a lot. Like it's investing my interest and my time. And I'm like, I love this game. Mm-hmm. And I love it more than I thought I would.
Ooh, I'm excited because I don't know what Mary's talking about.
Yeah, ever.
I just pretend I'm a good active listener, but I'm not actively listening. I'm just a good actor.
It's perfect. This combination's perfect. But other than that, so I've been playing that. And then I went to the museum, the Legion of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
So I've never been there. And
I've only been there once.
Legion of Honor is in San Francisco, and it's like has like this Roman, Parthenon type of look to it.
Yep.
And on the inside, you can go around the building. It looks beautiful. Right.
But it takes a long time to walk to the entrance through that Parthenon.
Yes. It does. They're like, do you want to pay to go inside? And I'm like, no, I just want to walk around.
You could just visit that. Yeah, you could just walk circles around that. Because the first time I went there, it was I was like, wow, it's so pretty. And then it's like to walk across that courtyard, I feel like it takes like a minute or two to get to the actual entrance.
It does. But I went there for the first time and it was super cool. But they have mostly just paintings and like tapestries and like it's like medieval stuff, mostly English kind of thing. But it's very I know in the past people were like, they were all biblical. Everything was like biblical. Art was like biblical. Right. And like it was before Romanticism. They also had Romanticism, like romantic works there as well. But I didn't get to see that part. I only saw like the nitty gritty, like dark. Like everybody's brooding. Right. There's like just swords like piercing people
people and people being like,
yeah, and like death of, or like there was this woman, she was holding a chicken.
I mean,
and,
like
posing with a chicken.
Duh.
I was like, wow, art.
Amazing.
People.
And there's also that Holocaust memorial outside the front too.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. But it was really cool because I love going to museums, so it was nice to be able to go to that. And then I honestly do not remember the rest of my week. That's it. Like, that's all. That's all she wrote. That's all that they wrote about my script in my life. Right. So the people that write my life, they need to come up with more ideas.
Well, they stopped. They got bored.
I mean, I can't blame them.
They went on vacation.
They didn't renew my season.
No. It got dropped after the pilot.
So bad. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a weird week. I feel like I was just really busy. Like it was a lot with work. I worked 6 days. So like it was just my whole week was work. And so, yeah, I feel like I didn't really do too much other exciting stuff. I mean, I've been packing because I'm moving in a couple of weeks. And I got a little ahead of myself and I packed all of my clothes.
Even the ones you were wearing? You're like,
yeah, they take off what I'm wearing and I'm just naked in my room. Like, I packed all my clothes. Like I set some outfits aside, but I packed everything. And I realized I actually don't own that much stuff. I own a lot of like knickknacks, like small things. because I packed all my clothes and I was like, isn't really much else left in my bedroom besides my furniture.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that. That's
Right?
a really good. I feel like I want to be that. I want to be you with that because I want
to become you.
I want to become
Becoming
you.
Chris.
Becoming Chris.
Coming out 2023.
Animorphs, like the Animorphs. and the in-betweens, like Sora. It's like, go to you. No, but that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I just have to pack my bookcase, which I'm saving because books are heavy.
Oh, yeah.
But my friend recommended just putting them in suitcases. And I was like, I have one giant suitcase that I think they can all fit in.
Oh, that's super smart.
So then I can just roll it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have to do that. And then obviously I have to take care of all of my video game stuff, which luckily I actually don't have too much compared to what I used to own. It's just going to be a matter of moving all of my consoles, which I do have many. Mm-hmm. So that is going to be annoying. I don't remember how I moved them into this apartment.
And plus, it's going to be annoying because the PS5, you're going to have to like buckle it in the seatbelt.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just going to go in the back.
Yeah, put it like a booster seat. Like you have a booster seat for it.
Tuck
it in.
So big.
Get a blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss it good night.
And then check in on it. Like,
yeah.
You doing okay? We're almost there.
We're almost there. I promise.
Just lights up. You're like.
The fan turns on.
It's so loud.
So yeah, it is. I feel like the thing that I own the most of, I think, is kitchen stuff. You
are a chef.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
So
not by profession, but by trade.
But by trade. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is that's going to be the most annoying part, I think. So we're doing it slowly, but because I'm paying rent for this apartment through June to give myself and my roommate time. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of time to pack stuff up. And so I'm thinking I'll slowly pack stuff up. And then I would like to bring it over all at once. I debated taking it over in bits, but then I was like, that's really annoying.
Yeah, I could see that being annoying.
So I think, I'll just get everything packed. The set, I think, will be the last thing I break down because I want us to be able to use this room as much as we can until we can't.
I can help you break down the room when the time comes.
Yeah. Just say goodbye to this tiny room. Goodbye. Oh, you guys won't know the difference whenever we do start using the set again, but we will be in a different place if we decide to keep using the set. Because I think once we break it down, there's probably going to be a couple weeks where we're remote.
Yeah. Oh, there will be times where we are going to be remote. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I also don't know if I really even have a place to set it up at the new house yet.
Is there a basement?
No. Well, there is a basement, but I don't think that it would be suitable.
Okay. Is there people living down there right now?
I actually don't know.
Are there rats?
There might be dead bodies down there.
Ooh,
we don't know.
With the rats of abnormally large size?
Yeah.
They're like too big.
They're suspiciously large.
Questionably large. Like, are you a rat or are you a
dog?
Horse dog. No, that's really cool though. I agree with like moving it all at once though.
Yeah.
Because I've moved a lot.
Yeah.
Like over my life. Like so many times I can't even count. But I remember I've done it both ways. So I've done it where like I move everything at once, and then I've done it where I move everything like throughout the weeks. Mm-hmm. And that's the worst. Because like you have to like the inconvenience of going there, coming back. Also the emotional thing. I feel like there's an emotional thing as well.
Where it's like I'd rather just move everything at once and then just be like,
yeah.
You know? Of course. So we'll see. Because I have to come up with a plan for like renting a truck.
Oh, like a U-Haul?
Yeah, because I don't have something of that size, obviously. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna, I think, rent a U-Haul, or like Home Depot has moving trucks I think you can rent.
Oh yeah,
they
do.
One of our friends said. Mm-hmm. And so I might do that, and then I'm gonna have her drive.
Smart.
Because I haven't driven in like 4 years. Mm-hmm. And I don't want my first experience driving again to be in a U-Haul crossing the Bay Bridge.
Oh, that would be so traumatic. No.
I think I would rather die. But she was really nice. She was like, "Oh yeah, I'll help you move," and I was like, "Okay,
that's awesome."
Okay.
Yeah, if you need anything, I cannot drive either because I have not driven in 10 years. Let me know.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll decide what we want to do with the set. It may just become a remote podcast.
Yeah, I mean that's doable. That's what everybody's doing right now. I feel like.
I know that's the thing. Like COVID happened, and then everyone was like, "Wait, we could just do it on Zoom."
Yeah. So I think majority of all the gaming podcasts that I listen to are all remote.
Yeah. I would miss being in person though and having the set. So we'll see, because my roommate and I do want to set up a studio for our creative stuff. So we will see what happens with that. But you want to talk about some news?
What kind of news?
I would say some pretty cool news.
Sign me up.
Sign me
it doesn't
up.
Take, it doesn't take much. I'm impressionable. It doesn't take much.
I'm like some mid-level news.
I'm like, yes.
Yes.
I love mediocrity.
Cool. Well, I'll tell you what's not mediocre. Mm-hmm. This news about the upcoming Dead Space remake, which I am super excited for. And we haven't really heard much from it since they revealed that trailer, right?
Yes.
They've kind of been on the DL. But on May 12th, Motive, they aired a live stream about specifically the visuals and the process of the creation of the visuals for the new Dead Space remake. So I'm going to see for all of our watchers here if I can slap this up on screen.
So Chris is slapping up a video.
Yeah, I'm slapping a video up on the screen.
Yeah.
And so...
Slap it to base.
So yeah, I'm going to kind of talk through a little bit about what they're doing in the video. So, because it was really cool. So they were actually talking about, like I said, the development of some of these spaces in the game. And so in the stream, we're walked through their process of recreating Dead Space, starting with the detailed 6-step process, which begins with analyzing the original game to understand what spaces need to be recreated.
It's really cool.
And so right now they're showing on screen the original Dead Space. And so this is kind of what I was just talking about. So the pipeline. And so it's this 6-step process. And basically, like I said, it starts out with them analyzing what the original game is, how they can update it, how they can, make it more contemporary, because the original Dead Space is from 2008, right?
Oh, so long ago.
Right. So... And following that, the next few phases are essentially about blocking out the space. So the next phase, which is like the L1 space, is where they break down the room and they kind of create like a skeleton, right? So this is the skeleton of what the environment is going to look like. There's no detail. It's essentially just a foundation and an idea of what the space is going to look like. The following steps are all about adding layers of detail. So starting with really simple objects, starting to kind of turn it into what you would recognize as a space. And then following that, it's all about adding textures, lighting, additional features and fixtures, and smaller objects to really help create a more immersive environment that feels more like an actual space, right? And so the narrator mentions even upgrading certain details as small as light fixtures, adding a dirty light cover to add more realism to the environment. So all of these small details, I am sure they come together to create a more realistic environment that really will help capture the player's attention and make them feel like they could actually exist in the space themselves. And that's something that one of the narrators in this video actually mentions. So he says, quote, "We remade this room to accentuate the art pillars even more. We want the player to believe that the Ishimura crew worked here, that the functionality of this room makes sense, and you can even imagine yourself working in this environment." So clearly the art team is passionate about delivering an immersive experience, and they really seem to understand the impact that the art played in the original game, right? So all of that aside, probably the most exciting thing to actually come out of this presentation was a release date. So if you're an average fan who's not dorky and doesn't care about the art design process, which I don't see how you couldn't find that cool.
It's very interesting.
It is set to release on January 27th, 2023, which of course is subject to change, but that's what they're saying for now.
Yeah, because that's sooner than I thought it'd be, honestly.
And they also let us know that we can probably expect some more gameplay demos around Halloween this year in October. So right now what we're seeing on screen are essentially just renders and development footage. They're not actual final versions of the game. They're sort of alpha level right now. So hopefully by October, we'll be able to actually see some gameplay footage and get an idea of what it's actually going to be like.
No, it's really cool because I don't often, when I think about a game and I think about like the development aspect of it, I do look at it from like an outside perspective. So a lot of times I am interested in the layers that they have to build in order to make the scene, in order to make the mood and things like that. And Dead Space is definitely a mood like game.
Oh yeah.
Has a heavy mood. And those like design, like the timeline and everything, it looked like really impressive. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, like being able to release like around Halloween some more information, that's very fitting.
Right.
They know their crowd.
Right.
They know it.
Yeah, because I that's one of the things that I really loved about Dead Space was like they seemed to have a really good understanding of how both the art direction and then the sound design go hand in hand to really create this like immersive environment where you're playing and you're always on edge. Like there's not a point in that gameplay cycle where you're not uneasy, and you're expecting, you don't know what to expect. You're expecting something because you hear these sound cues and you see these cues in your environment, but you don't know like what could be around the corner, right? And that was one of the things too, they kind of talk about. That presentation that we just showed some footage of was about an hour long, and it's actually really, really cool. You should watch the whole thing. But they do talk about adding certain environmental cues like scratches in the ground or stuff like that to help create this idea of uneasiness, because you don't know, like you see these signs of distress, or struggle or violence, and you're like, well, crap, like I don't know, like what the hell's on the spaceship?
Yeah.
And then you find out.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played it, the lights were out too. It was like, and I was alone. It was like nighttime. I picked the perfect.
You really
timing.
did yourself dirty.
Yeah, I did myself dirty, but I'm glad. I like to enjoy horror games like that though, because afterwards, like I have to suffer the consequences of playing those kind of games alone at night with the lights out. However, that game specifically, it really makes you like have deep emotion, like feelings like of terror, of like being frightened, and it kind of like ignites this energy, like endorphins. Yeah,
I know, and there is something about it too, about you being the only person in this environment where clearly like something has happened. The people who were there are dead. Yeah. And so, and you encounter monsters and stuff, right? But it's like, I think also just being alone as a character makes it a much more jarring experience, because you don't have allies, you don't have any comrades. It's just you in this like dark, scary, like eerie environment. And also something just about like being in space in that situation makes it that much worse. Yeah. I think because like there's no like escape, like there's no safety, like you can't leave and go somewhere safer. You're trapped.
You can't hear screams in space.
Yeah, it's true. You heard it here first, folks.
That is a movie poster for Alien. You heard it from them first.
You heard it from Mary first.
Yeah. No, but space itself just freaks me out.
Yeah.
In general. But there is this game, it's called Echo Night Beyond. And it was for the PS2. And it's a space game. So you wake up and you're alone. And like it kind of reminded me of Dead Space in a lot of ways, because you're completely alone. And there was a crash or something, and you wake up and you're in like a spacesuit, of course. So it's like, you can hear the sounds of that. And also you like just move slowly because you're in space and gravity. Like you're wearing a spacesuit, so the gravity's not level. And you interact with spirits and ghosts. And that's what you do. And like you try to unravel what happened, the mystery of like why you're there, and like why this happened, and why everyone's dead, and like why you're still alive. And like your wife, who was like really sick, is like floating somewhere in space.
She's in space somewhere.
She's in space somewhere. But that game, which like I owned for a while, it freaked me out because it was in space. Yeah. Mostly, and like it was the lonely aspect of it as well. So I did the thing again where I returned it to GameStop.
You fool.
And it's worth over $300 now. So horror games and me, I love horror games. Yeah. Definitely, I want to pick up this Dead Space. I want to pick this up.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to play this.
Yeah, me too. But also, I've learned a lesson.
Right. Play with the lights on. Yeah. I'm not going to.
And don't sell your horror games to GameStop.
Yeah, don't sell your horror games, period. Save your horror games. Because I feel like more so than a lot of other game genres, horror games, especially, like their cost goes way up.
Yeah. Because the market is so niche that they don't make as many copies as, let's say, like FIFA.
Yeah.
FIFA
which isn't FIFA anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is also news, but I chose not to talk about it because we don't care about those games on this channel. So
yeah, I was looking at that news, like scrolling over it and going like, oh, okay, that happened, and I was like, okay.
And then I kept scrolling.
Yeah.
So before we move on, real quick, would you rather go to space or go underwater, deep ocean? Is the question that people always ask.
That's the worst question.
I know.
For
that's why
me
I asked
specifically. It. Oh man, both of them are so claustrophobic.
Both of them suck. They're both terrible options.
I would say. Well, okay. I'm gonna like clarify the question. I'm gonna ask more details about the question.
Yeah, please.
So space, you go on a rocket ship. That's the only way you can do.
Right.
But the ocean, like, would I be in like a submarine? Would I be like in a thing? Would I just be me? Without
You're
a thing?
just you. That's like there's no laws of nature or physics.
I'm just
like
down
it's
there.
just you down there.
Yeah.
Like pressure does not matter.
No, we're just asking questions here, the real questions. So like what kind of situation is this deep ocean?
I would say you're in a submarine. Because if you're gonna be in space in a spaceship, I feel like we should make the situation similar.
Space.
Okay.
Ocean, no.
That would also be my choice.
Yeah, I just something about the ocean and the deep ocean and the pressure.
Yeah.
And just what's down there, and then you don't know. Like, yeah, space, there's rocks.
Right. Space you also don't know, but space at least you can see. That's the other thing is deep ocean, like you can't see anything.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't see anything. There's so much pressure that like if anything goes wrong in your submarine, you're all dead.
Yeah. Thanks.
And I'm also, and you know this, I'm also scared of drowning. So.
Yeah.
And yeah, space, I don't know, space just seems cooler. I want to look out my spaceship window.
Yeah. My
podcast from space.
There will be podcasts.
There will be if there isn't already.
Like Musk and Bezos.
The astronauts, why don't they do a podcast on the International Space Station?
They do videos.
They should do a podcast. I'm like, who cares? They should do a podcast.
They're like smoking cigarettes, but they can't. So like, it's just some other kind of thing. They're just like, oh, what happened? How was your week? It's like, well, I didn't talk to anybody.
Floated around.
Yeah. That's funny.
All right. Well, moving on.
One more question about space.
Oh my God.
One more question.
Okay.
When they poop.
And that's it.
Does the poop like go up in the air when they're
it must. We'll have to research
That's
this.
it.
Well, let's do some research on that after the podcast on our break.
Yeah, but that's it. That's all the question. That's the only question I have. Sign me up.
Anyway.
More news.
More news. No poop, just news.
Just news.
More Silent Hill leaks, Mary.
Okay, I'm in the camp of hearing a Silent Hill leak. You've heard my conspiracy theories about Blue Box Studios.
I was going to say, we did a whole segment.
Yes.
Weeks ago.
Yeah,
months ago.
I think I was updating on that like every week for like 3 or 4 weeks. And then I was like, I can't do this to myself.
Yeah, no.
I can't go down this road of like having hopes and expectations that this thing could actually happen. I cannot.
No. And I feel like that's literally like every fan of Silent Hill is like that. Because we all have been done dirty by Konami so much. Mm-hmm. So in case you guys missed it, IGN, this is reporting from IGN. I pulled all this information. They condensed it all into a nice article for us. So they reported that a well-known leaker shared 4 images of an alleged new Silent Hill game before they were quickly deleted by the quote-unquote copyright holder, leading many to believe that they are legitimate. So these leaks come from Twitter user Dusk Golem, and they showed 4 potential screen grabs of the alleged new Silent Hill game. They show us a creepy hallway.
Of course, the classic.
Obviously, creepy hallway.
Gotta have creepy
a room that appears to be in a hoarder house. So it's like a room filled with just like tons and tons of like cans and like random shit like that.
Again. Yeah, makes sense.
And a character model of a girl's face with her skin peeling back to reveal papers with words and phrases written on them.
Sounds like she needs some help.
Yeah, she needs to see a dermatologist.
Yeah. What do you do with a skin peeling off and having someone's diary underneath my face?
So there have been prior murmurs recently about Silent Hill games. As far back as October of last year and February of this year, we talked about it then.
Yeah.
And then also Konami renewing their trademark for Silent Hill back in March of this year. So, of course, this could all be speculation. But whether or not you believe the leaks, it's worth noting that Dusk Golem leaked correct information in the past about an upcoming Resident Evil game, which turned out to be Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, I did see that. Also, additionally, I just love now that when we read these articles and people leak, we get their name, like their internet name,
right?
Like Dusk Golem.
Dusk Golem.
Like that's his name. That's
well,
just
yeah.
his name.
I mean, if you're going to leak stuff, you can't use your real name.
No, it's got to be
You're going to get sued.
Golem.
So I wanted to bring it up because every time there's a Silent Hill leak, I feel like as fans of Silent Hill, we have to talk about it.
Yeah, at this point, I got to walk around wearing a diaper. There's too many leaks.
Yeah, too many leaks. I've sprung a leak this time.
So many leaks.
Hearing this news.
I will say that I think I was watching, because we watched Run for the Hills, and she made a good point in that podcast, or that show on
This
YouTube.
is a show that Giant Bomb is doing, by the way,
Yes.
where two of their people play the Silent Hill games. So.
Yes. So she was saying, like, and I agree with her, it's that I'm only going to believe it when it's out.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to put any kind of belief into it. And like, I feel like that's not very much a negative thing. It's just a realistic thing.
Well, yeah.
It's that thing in psychology. It's like people with a pessimistic mindset, people with like negative mindsets and negative thought patterns. You can't overnight be like, everything's great. It's going to be okay. Like, you can't be automatically positive the next day and expect things to just kind of happen. You need to be first realistic, have realistic expectations, be set in reality. And then you can like practice that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I think that's where I'm at right now. Is like, I'm being very realistic with this. I am holding out my expectations.
Right.
Holding out my hopes. I have hopes, but I've talked about them so much that you put it in my hand. Put that,
or at least put a trailer in my hand, and then I'll believe it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because and you know, we've been burned so many times by Konami, especially with what they did to us with PT.
Oh my God. That's one of the worst, I think, instances of like video game controversy or whatever.
Well, and just the thing that I hate so much about it too is like just the way that they really were like, fuck you guys. Like they just made it inaccessible, unplayable, undownloadable. Like even if you had it prior, you can't play it.
Yeah, it was so awful. And the thing is, it's like people love PT.
Yeah.
People are inspired by it. Like game developers now are making games inspired by PT.
Any horror, any indie or like horror game developed by like one person that you can buy on Steam for 99 cents has a looping hallway. Yeah. Now. Like
thanks to PT. And it's like in my mind, I'm like, why wouldn't you want to make money off of that? Like why would you be so like closed door about it? And maybe something happened with like Kojima and Konami specifically that like they just like broke apart and like there's no healing that.
Right.
And it's like gone forever. And maybe that's why they decided to do it. Which would make sense. That would make sense more so. But if that's not the case, and if like they're just being fickle or something, they could just
they're just being petty.
They're just if they're being petty, like you could make so much more money off of that. Like, could you imagine if PT released like we'll play a trailer, but the Silent Hills, like that version of it, can you like imagine just how many people would buy that? Like, probably the top selling horror game of all time, maybe.
I mean, probably considering the amount, like considering the cult following that like Silent Hill itself has, and then the desire for horror fans to have another Silent Hill installment that isn't shit, because all of the Silent Hill games pretty much after the first one or two are shit. Sorry. That's my personal feeling.
Yeah, I know the first and second one are definitely the best. I did like the third one, and Room sucked. I didn't like The Room. Homecoming was okay.
It was just okay. So, yeah, I think we're all craving like a really good Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just have to be realistic.
Be realistic, it's true. And I did want to say something else about Silent Hill. Specifically Silent Hill, but I kind of lost my train of thought. Maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe I'll be at the end of the episode and I'll be like, wait,
I'm about to hit stop and you're just like, wait,
there was something more.
I remember
everything. No, I don't. What's my name?
I don't know.
Dang it.
Shit.
God start from scratch.
Even though I said it we said it in the intro. I'm like, I don't know.
I said it myself. I don't know. I have amnesia.
Oh my God. Another great horror game. I love Amnesia.
Amnesia. It's like the cute version of Amnesia.
It's
Amnesia.
like a chibi version.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah. We'll see. We'll see about that. I'll keep one eye.
One eye
one eye to the side. And my other eye is gonna be straight. So it's gonna look like a chameleon. And it's gonna be darting around. If I see anything more, I'm gonna be like interested, but I don't want it to know that I'm looking at it. So I'm just like, no.
And then you're gonna shoot your tongue out.
Yeah, I'm like, give us Silent Hills
please.
Or give us nothing.
Silent Hill or death.
Yeah.
Or both.
Give me liberty or give me Silent Hills.
Thank you. As our founding fathers once said.
Yeah. They're like, take away my freedom. As long as I get Silent Hills, I'm fine.
Woo. Okay. Well, that's kind of it for a news segment today. There wasn't too much stuff that I wanted to talk about, but
I did have another news thing.
Oh my
actually.
God.
Sorry.
Amazing. Sorry. I did not know.
Broke into that. Breaking news.
Breaking news live.
Yeah. I don't have like detailed notes about it, but I was kind of excited about this. So as the PlayStation subscription like process is happening and it's going to be going into effect in June, there are some games that are being leaked, like that are going to come to the collection, essentially like the PlayStation collection, the PS2 collection, and the PSP collection. And one of those that got leaked for the PS2 collection is Shadow Hearts. And that game is incredible.
Yeah.
I love Shadow Hearts. I love the second one. I have the second one. But the first one is like $1,000. So I haven't been able to play it.
And you won't. Until.
And that's exciting because first off, that means that they're paying attention to games that are kind of inaccessible now because of price.
Right.
You know, they're like, okay, well, this game is coveted, you know, is respected.
Right.
A lot of people want to play it, but a lot of people can't play it. I mean, unless you do like emulation, which I know there's some emulation out there. But it's something different when emulation a lot of times can be buggy and there's all these kind of things that go along with that. And also it's very difficult to do that, right? But this just makes me so excited.
Do you think the price of those games physically will come down because they'll be accessible again digitally?
That's what I was wondering myself, because that happens with Magic the Gathering. That'll happen when let's say a set releases and there's a card in it that's like, I don't know, like $80 when it starts out.
Yeah.
And then by the time there's like 6 more sets that come out, by the 6th set, that card that was $80 is now like $300, you know, just like whatever amount of dollars, like increases like by like 80%. And once that set, if they do a re-release of that card, it does go down briefly. There's like a little brief moment, like a couple weeks, maybe a day. Like it just depends on the card. And I feel like that would be maybe similar to the games. But something tells me the people that are collectors and the people that are out there like, you know, hunting for these games, I feel like they want a physical thing because you get the pamphlet. Yeah. You get the artwork, you get the box. Right. I feel like it's a aesthetic thing too.
Because that's what I was thinking in my mind, where I'm like, okay, I wonder if it's less about playability and more about actually physically owning something. Because like if people only cared about buying retro games to play them, I would think that then the price of those physical copies would come down once it's available digitally again. But I don't think that's the case. I do think that collectors want them to play, but I think more often than not also just to have the physical copy and everything that comes with it. So I would be curious to see once this new PlayStation model releases and these games are available, I will be curious to then look at the cost of these retro games physically and see if they change at all.
Yeah, because Shadow Hearts is definitely one that I would want to look out for because that game is extremely expensive. So that's really cool that it might, I know it's a leak, so it's not confirmed. Right. But that is a game that I feel like they would put on this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that if they do. Speaking of retro games, there's something happening in October again. It's the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Woo! Like, because I've been wanting to go to this because I went, I think it was 2018 or 2019, one of those years, before the panty. And it's the best celebration of nerdery, like video game nerdery that I've ever been to. It's like these huge, like hangar size, like venues where you just dive through, you like all the games, you know, they just have it out in bins and you're just like, you find what you find. And if you find a gem that you've been looking for so long, it's just such a satisfying feeling. And they also have video game art.
Yeah.
Like artists from all around the country go out and they just have their art on display and you can buy it. Some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen there, video game related too. Just nerdery too. All those topics. But
we should go.
I know.
I want to go.
I want to go so badly.
Yeah, because I feel like we were talking, and I don't remember if it was on the podcast or if it was offline. We were talking about missing conventions.
Yeah, and they're coming back, baby.
Yeah, COVID is coming back because of conventions.
That's true. It's a cycle. It's
it
a
is.
circle of pandemics.
So, but I really want to go. That sounds like it'd be so much fun.
It is so much fun. And it's Portland. Portland's great.
Is it a weekend situation?
It is a weekend situation. So it's, I think it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's 3 days.
Pretty classic.
And the first day is you go if you're like really hunting after a game that's like sought after.
Right, like you need it then and there.
Yeah, because it's going to be gone. And like all this stuff is like on Sunday, you can maybe get a better deal on some other things because they're
it's like what's kind of
packing
left.
up.
Yeah.
But the artists, I feel like that's one of the coolest things about it. And they have panels.
Yeah.
So they have like YouTubers and like,
cool.
like personalities do Q&A.
Yeah. Mary and I are actually going to be having a bit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So we have to go.
We have to go. We're required to go because I forgot they
no.
asked us to have. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, that sucks.
Awkward.
We could go.
Just kidding. That would be cool though if one day we got big enough to have a panel somewhere.
That would be so awesome.
What would we even do? We would just be like,
sorry.
Sorry.
Excuse me. Can you pass the water
for an hour?
Yeah. Someone's like, so where did the idea come from of after school special club? And we're just like, I think it's school.
Yeah, like you
school
like go
exists.
and you hang out with your friends after school and play video games.
And then you get really tired.
Yeah.
Because it's nighttime. And they're like, what?
What? And I'm like, sorry, I'm yelling. Can you hear me?
I'm like, Chris, don't be so angry.
Mary, why are you yelling so much?
A little ASMR.
Oh
we'll just do an ASMR.
Yeah, we should do an ASMR podcast one time.
We should.
For our first live event.
Just eating bags of chips.
Yeah, we have like bowls of snacks and we're just doing ASMR.
We're like, what does this sound like? What does this sound like? Like, boo.
Boo, we hate you guys. All right,
Anyway.
well, all that being said, let's go into our last segment. What have you been playing?
What have you been playing?
We should make a jingle.
Yeah, we should. That's the
What
jingle.
have you been? Yeah, I'll just cut that.
Yeah. A little like text goes over. Like one of those airplanes that has like the thing dragging behind it.
Yeah.
It falls down. I have been playing Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Oh my God. I was not expecting you to say that.
I wasn't expecting you. I wasn't.
You're like, I wasn't expecting to play it.
Yeah, I wasn't because it's a funny story. I got a gift card to GameStop for Christmas last year from my coworker, and I went to GameStop, and I don't typically shop there.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know what I was gonna get. I just like walked in, and I was deciding between a couple games, and then on the Switch because I knew I wanted a Switch game, and I saw Shin Megami Tensei 5 in the package, like it was brand new. It was going for a really cheap price. It was like $20.
Oh, okay.
Which I was like, this game, it was like $60, like not too long ago.
Yeah.
So I bought that, and then I was like, I can't open this until I have time to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I am not going to open this because I think Elden Ring was coming out. Like, I was already planning for that. I was already planning for other games. I think I was playing through Eastward, and I was also playing through Fire Emblem and a couple other games. I was like, I'm not going to get to this, so I put it away.
Yeah.
I like put it away, and then like the other day,
You're like, hey,
yeah,
what the?
I was looking through the Switch games. I was like, I want to play a Switch game. And I was like, I forgot I had this. I forgot I had this sealed copy.
Amazing.
So I unwrapped it, and I wasn't expecting to really like get into it too much because Shin Megami Tensei is off of like Persona.
Yeah.
So the Persona games, they're separate though. So Persona is more, I would say, fun, lighthearted, even though Persona is very dark. It can be dark. There's more comedy. There's like dating aspect to it. There's more, it's like RPG, like that kind of thing. But Shin Megami Tensei is more like like heavy story, like serious. Like that's like the serious game. And you're basically just like fighting like a turn-based RPG. You have to grind it out. It's just all about grinding, really. Mm-hmm. But the storyline is so cool. It's so much better than all the other Persona games. Huh. I feel like I'm very invested. And it's also fun because you like, basically you're this high schooler. You're always in high school.
Classic.
Persona. Yeah. And you go to school one day and there's been like murders that have been happening around campus, like people being stabbed and like all kinds of crazy stuff. And you have to go back in like a buddy system to your house. So they're on their way back and all of a sudden, you know what? The end times happens.
You know, as it does.
Yeah,
it sneaks up on all of us.
He's going through a subway. He goes out of the subway and all of a sudden there's devils, like demons in the sky. And he's like in this sand, it's like crazy, like
oh my God,
crazy area. And essentially he's 20 years in the, no, not 20 years. He's a set amount of years in the future in Tokyo after the end of days has happened. So like in Revelations, the Bible.
Yeah.
So after that has happened, that's where he's at.
Okay.
And a demon fuses with him. And he becomes like this powerful half demon. So basically Inuyasha.
Yeah. So basically it's the precursor to Inuyasha.
Yeah. He has long hair, just like Inuyasha.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He has an annoying girl who just won't shut up.
I do have an annoying girl that doesn't
literally
shut
Inuyasha.
up. Yeah, because I have this little pixie girl who's actually, I think she's a devil or she's a demon.
Yeah.
And I can't trust her.
Are you collecting orb pieces too?
Well, I'm collecting essences of demons.
So I mean,
I
it's
guess
basically this is Inuyasha.
Yeah, it is. But it's really cool because there's this one scene and you're going and you, basically the thing that you do, this game is very confusing to explain if you don't like play it. It's very hard.
I've never played it, so I'm just like fascinated.
So it's a turn-based action RPG. And you run around in the field and it's not random encounter. So you go up and you like hit him with a sword instead. And you can kind of control who you fight, which is nice. And you can control like.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I really do like that. And you start off alone. So it's just you and your party. And you have to, when you're in a fight with demons, you have to talk to it to convince it to join you on your team. And it's really funny. Like the talk scenes with these demons is hilarious. It's random. It's always different. Like they put a lot of time and effort into the script, I feel like.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And you get to collect all these demons and they're based around Japanese folklore. And also there's like Satan is a demon. Like it's just like biblical things too. Like Michael, like there's an angel that's Michael, you know, things like that, which is really cool also. And these same like spirits or demons are in Persona. They're all the same.
Oh, okay.
So like I recognize them.
That's cool.
Like, oh, like I know this succubus, she's in Persona. But the cool thing is they fight with you. Like you fight with them. They become party members.
Right.
Which is awesome. Because then you get to collect all you want, but also you can fuse them together and make more powerful demons.
Oh, cool.
And then basically after I had started like getting a bunch of people and I grinded right away and I got like powerful people, I was like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
So I went to a boss fight, my first boss fight. And then after the boss fight ends, it's like the most insane cutscene that I think I've seen. And like, it's so memorable. Like, I don't know if you're ever going to play it, but it was like, I was moved like emotionally. And I was like, man, this game's great. It's
cool.
Fantastic. I love it so much. This game's amazing. And I'm going to keep playing it.
Wow.
That's about it. But it's definitely a time investment because it is grinding. Like, it is the part of Final Fantasy where you just grind. So
that's fine.
Anyway, what have you been playing?
I haven't been playing anything this week because I've been so busy. But I wanted to mention because I almost wrote about this for like a news segment, but then I was like, no, I'll just like briefly talk about this. So I watched Nintendo's Indie World Showcase the other day too. And I just wanted to mention that there are some indie games that I'm like really excited about because they look really cool and really whimsical, some of them. So I pulled up the list on my phone here because I couldn't remember. Like I have this thing where I can never remember what games are called when they're in like a showcase.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So I thought I would go through some of, there's like 3 that stuck out of my mind that I was like, oh, I have to play these games. So one of them is called Another Crab's Treasure.
That title's so good.
And so this is by Aggro Crab.
Even better. He's an aggressive crab.
And then this is what Nintendo says about it. It says, in this crustacean-themed Souls-like game, you find yourself in an undersea world on the verge of collapse. So you embark on an epic treasure hunt to discover the dark secrets behind the polluted ocean, with more than 50 potential shells to discover and a host of dangerous enemies to overcome. It just looked really whimsical because you just play as a crab and you fight.
I love that. Do you have like a little sword?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
So
sounds amazing. You don't have to tell me. I'm sold on that.
And so then another one that I was really excited for, again, whimsical title, is Gunbrella. You're like, what the fuck?
Gunbrella. And I let me guess what the game is about. Yeah. Is it just somebody with like a gun umbrella?
Basically.
Okay.
So it says, take on the role of a gruff woodsman on a quest for revenge, armed with the mysterious Gunbrella. In this noir punk adventure game, your investigation becomes entangled with the inner workings of ghouls and gangsters, cops and cultists, and other increasingly bizarre characters in a world rapidly losing its natural resources. Scavenge for scraps and spare parts and upgrade your coveted weapon to glide, swing, dash, dive, and take out enemies in gritty side-scrolling combat. That one looked really cool. Like it was very, the way it was stylized was really cool because it was very like dark, like it says noir. So that one looked really cool. And then there was another side-scrolling one called Head, which also looked really cool. It was a side-scroller platforming kind of game, but you have to like interact with electricity in order to like transform the environment in order to progress. And you can like throw your head and like do other like weird things. It just looked like an interesting take on a side scroller.
Is it like a puzzle game?
Kind of.
Okay.
Because it involves like circuitry and like electricity and like currents and stuff like that. And then, like I said, yeah, you can like throw your head and there's like other like random abilities where essentially you have to use like electricity to progress through these different maps. So it looked cool. It looked like a nice game to just like play if you just like had some downtime and didn't want to play like a story heavy RPG.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that I should have a game to go to when I'm taking breaks from my very heavy RPGs.
For me, that's been Kirby.
That's a good one.
Like I've just been doing like when I need to take a break, I've just been doing like one level at a time that I haven't played recently. So
all right, well that's good. I'm gonna have to look into those.
Yeah. So yeah, those come out. I think some of them come out this year, and then a couple of them come out next year. But that is it. Because yeah, I haven't really been playing anything this week because I've been so busy. But I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah.
To those games.
To the games.
Gosh.
To the windows. To the games.
To the games.
Let's do our outro.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, we're really bad at improvising.
Yeah, we are.
That's why we have a script, which I'm going to read from now. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the After School Special Club podcast. Why can't I ever do this normally? Okay. Ready? Take two.
This is so serious. Be serious.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the After School Special Club podcast. You can tune in live every Saturday to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/afterschoolspecialclub, for Saturday double features, where we stream our podcast and then we play games into the evening. If you can't watch us live, our podcast is available the following week anywhere you enjoy your podcasts. You can also watch the video version of the show on YouTube. Just search After School Special Club. And please, leave us a comment, thumbs up our videos, and give us a 5-star review on iTunes. It really helps us get out there, and we greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much, robot caller. People like when I go to try to talk to a person on a line, and it's that. Yeah, what the robot said.
Yeah, I should do phone recordings.
You should
for menus.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, or thank you for doing both.
Yeah, do both.
We appreciate it.
I like doing both.
Yeah. So thank you, and till next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
We'll be back for our game stream in like an hour. Okay, bye.